Ooh, I'm not even in the background. It must be a later show. There we go. All right. Well, that was a fun one for the Colorado Rockies as they take down the Boston Red Sox in the opening game of their series by a final score of 9-8. And we'll break it all down on tonight's episode of your Locked On Rockies postcast as the Rockies win this game in extra innings, walk-off fashion. Ezekiel Tovar staying hot, Bretton Doyle stay hot. A lot of good stuff from the Colorado Rockies tonight. We'll break it all down on tonight's episode of your Locked On Rockies postcast as the Rocks look to stay hot. Let's get into it.
You are Locked On Rockies postcast, powered by Mile High Sports, part of Locked On Sports Denver on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, it is your Locked On Rockies postcast. I am your host, Aniello Piro. A later show tonight at right around 10:15 here local time in Colorado as the Rockies end up winning this game in walk-off fashion in the 12th inning thanks to Mr. Ezekiel Tovar coming through to deliver the game-winning RBI in this one as the Rockies staying hot here a little bit. You know, they've now won 3 of their last 4 games. I know they lost the series finale in this, the series finale against the San Francisco Giants, but they roll right over into Monday night and take care of business against a pretty darn good Boston Red Sox team, or at least a Red Sox team that has been trending upwards. So a lot to get into tonight on the program. We'll talk about Ezekiel Tovar. We'll talk about Bretton Doyle. We'll set the stage for, I can see I didn't update. Apologies here. Sorry. That was a long game. I was like sitting here in the middle of the 7th and 8th inning starting to do the prep, and then it just kept going on and on and on. So I'm a little tired for this one, but we're going to keep on keeping on with the show here tonight as the Rockies end up getting the win by a final score of 9-8. Make sure to subscribe to the brand new Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. If you want some more episodes of your Locked On Rockies postcast, you can find yours truly right here on the channel after the fact as well. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can do so at Media by AP if your heart desires. But the Rockies tonight improving to 37-64 on the season. The Boston Red Sox dropping to 53-46. And I know that this game obviously ends with the Rockies on top, but a couple of mental mistakes there, I would say, from the Boston Red Sox at the end of the game. We had mentioned it in yesterday's Locked On Rockies postcast as well, that Boston was indeed playing that Sunday night baseball game on national television last night. So they probably didn't get into the Mile High City till around, oh my gosh, I gotta fight the yawns. Excuse me, folks. All right, wake up. 1, 2, 3. So the Boston Red Sox probably didn't get into town until the wee hours of the morning, probably close to the time that the sun was going up. And they definitely some mental errors. They looked a little lethargic there at the end of the game. But good job on the Rockies front for staying locked in for all 12 innings and not giving up really at all in this one. So we shall see if the Rockies can try to see some momentum and win tomorrow's game as well and clinch themselves a second consecutive series victory. That would be absolutely positively fantastic. But why don't we go ahead and set the scene here for how the Rockies were able to walk this one off? Again, the final score 9-8 in the 12th inning. And it was looking a little dicey there as these teams kind of traded runs in the extra innings period. But it was a rather long bottom of the 12th inning. Brendan Rodgers was the runner who started on second base for the Colorado Rockies. And what have we always said about Jake Cave? And I've heard it on the TV broadcast as well. It just seems like when Jake Cave is playing in these games, he always figures out some way or another to make an impact, whether it's with his bat, whether it's with his eye, whether it's with his glove. Jake Cave, when he's in the lineup, does, even if he comes off the bench as a pinch hitter, just one of those scrappy, feisty guys that is always, figuring out a way to try to fight for victories, whether it's for the team or individual victories in the batter's box or in the field, whatever it might be. And Jake Cave did a great job of setting the table here for what would eventually be the walk-off victory for the Colorado Rockies. He led off the bottom half of the 12th inning with a single to left field, which allowed the Rockies, obviously with Brendan Rodgers on second already, to get 2 runners in scoring position, as Jake Cave inevitably advanced to second on this one as well. But he did score Brendan Rodgers, so that tied it up at 8-8. The Rockies entered into the bottom half of the 12th down 8-7. So nice to see Jake Cave come up, and just make another impact. Let's look at him tonight. He had 5 at-bats to Jake Cave tonight, and that was his one hit. He had 1 RBI, and he did draw a walk as well, but all good things coming for Jake Cave in that at-bat as he helps power the Rockies through to victory here. But, of course, that merely tied the game up, so Jake Cave finds himself on second. An intentional walk is then issued to Rockies catcher Jacob Stallings. Sam Hilliard sacrifice bunt, and then another intentional walk at this point to Aaron Schunk, who played third base tonight. That would allow you to load up the bases with 2 outs. So, if you are the was that 1 out? Yeah, that was 1 out for the Boston Red Sox, excuse me. So, the thought process there of loading up the bases is you can essentially enable the force out any of the bags. So you can go, you don't want to dribbler down the third baseline or down the first baseline. You can throw home and then back to first or third. Just a lot more flexibility. And I think the statistics also back it up of, like, if you've got to try to turn 2 to preserve the game, having those force outs on each and every base, including home plate, is only going to help you in that capacity. So that's how kind of the table was set here. Charlie Blackmon then struck out. So the Rockies were down to their final out here as the Boston Red Sox ended up making a pitching change, which kind of delayed this game a little bit further. Chase Anderson came in and replaced Bailey Horn. And then Ezekiel Tovar, as we mentioned, the youngster, the kid, staying hot in this one. He hits a sharp single to center field right there over the second base bag, and that scores a run as Jake Cave will come around to score the winning run for the Colorado Rockies. And of course, since it was in the bottom of the 12th inning, that is a walk-off victory for Colorado as they take down the Boston Red Sox at home. So a good mix of clutch hitting, a little bit of patience. The Rockies did a good job of working some of these counts as well, but between Jake Cave and Ezekiel Tovar, coming up clutch. You'll love to see it for the Rockies tonight. There was a number of clutch hitters for the Rockies in this one. Sam Hilliard, who's been a bit of a journeyman with this organization for quite some time, he came through in a big way for the Rockies in this one, in the bottom, to even set up this rally here in the bottom of the 12th inning for the Rockies, because in the bottom of the 10th inning, he blasted a 2-run home run basically to right center field. Jake Cave, also, who had drawn a walk earlier in the game, I believe, at that point, came around to score. So, like I said, Jake Cave just always finds a way to be productive, always finds a way to help out this Rockies team, it appears. Like I said, whether it's with his bat, with his eye, or with his glove. So, Jake Cave also playing a big role across the board in this game. Maybe not going to be looked at like a Sam Hilliard was, or like an Ezekiel Tovar, or like a Brenton Doyle is in this game. But the Rockies do not win this game tonight without the professionalism and the execution from a guy like Jake Cave. But as we mentioned, bottom of the 10th inning, Sam Hilliard drives his 3rd home run of the season. It's a 2-run shot to center field. That knots it up at 7-7. Before the top of the 12th inning, the Boston Red Sox end up scoring a run off of a single from Wilyer Abreu that made it 8-7. And then we just told you how the Rockies inevitably win the game with the combination there of the Jake Cave leadoff single, and then Ezekiel Tovar coming around to drive him home as the Rockies take this one down. And, I love the fact that the Rockies didn't roll over in this one. A nice explosive night from the lineup. It was a pretty backloaded game. The Rockies kind of jumped, or I guess I shouldn't say that. Or no, that's because I'm looking at the 4th inning. Like when you go on the box score, like the 12th innings all the way to the right. So I was going to say no runs in the first 2 innings for either one of these teams. Colorado then jumps out to an early lead there in the 3rd inning. And the Rockies tonight generating 15 hits. That obviously yields the 9 runs for them. But a good night at the office here for Colorado. Looking at the box score, all the Rockies hitters for the most part. Yeah, every single person that was in the Rockies lineup tonight had at least 1 hit. Charlie Blackmon with a pair of hits. He had 2 RBI on the night tonight. Ezekiel Tovar, who we mentioned, his batting average back up to 280. It was a 3-hit night for him, including that game-winning RBI. Brenton Doyle, stay hot. He had a couple of hits. I believe he also had the home run in this game. His 17th home run of the season. Or hold on, that's a line drive double. Excuse me, his 17th double of the season. But Brenton Doyle continues to do his thing as he stays hot for the Rockies in this one. Michael Toglia with a base hit. He's been a nice shifty guy for the Rocks. Brandon Rogers with a base hit. Jake Cave, as we mentioned, with a base hit. Jacob Stallings with a pair of hits. Sam Hillier with a big-time home run in this one in extra innings. And Alan Shunk with a pair of hits as well. So all in all, a pretty productive night at the office for the Rockies as they muster up 9 runs on 15 hits and no errors in this game. How many times they strike out? 7 times tonight, which is what they strike out 15 times yesterday, I want to say it was, against the San Francisco Giants. So nearly cutting that in half. Love to see it from the Rockies tonight as they win this game against the Boston Red Sox and get off to a strong start in this series. They have now won 3 of their last 4 games, and looks like that All-Star break definitely did them some good. But, all right, let's hit our first break. When we come back, let's dive into starting pitcher Austin Gomber's performance tonight. We'll also continue the conversation about the offense, lock in on guys like Ezekiel Tovar, Bretton Doyle, among others as well, as we continue along right here on your Locked On Rockies postcast. Stick with us. All right, you guys, let me tell you about our friends over at Prize Picks, because Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports, and unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. Get in on the excitement and win up to 100 times your cash with the summer games on Prize Picks. With Prize Picks, you can turn $10 into $1,000 while watching Team USA rack up the gold medals this summer. You can make a Prize Picks lineup of players across basketball, soccer, tennis, golf, and more in as little as 60 seconds. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you're locked in. If you're looking for promotions, Prize Picks has got you covered each and every week, from lowering select player stats projections on Tuesdays to help your lineup hit, or getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. Prize Picks is also available in more than 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. So, guys, download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks for a deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It is that easy with our friends over at Prize Picks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match of up to $100. All right, let me also tell you about our friends over at eBay Motors, because passion, drive, and patience, it's the formula for winning championships. It's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance: superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your #1 ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time, or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions, they do apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to customers in the United States. All right, welcome on back into your Locked On Rockies postcast. I am your host, Aniello Piro. If you want to follow me on social media, you can do so at Media by AP. Also, to make sure to subscribe to the Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel, so you never miss an episode of your Locked On Rockies postcast. We got a ton of great stuff in the works as well for football season and basketball season. So if you're a fan of the Nuggets or the Broncos, make sure to smash that subscribe button, guys. We're going to have some fun all throughout the season. But the big takeaways for today: the Rockies winning in extra innings, the bottom of the 12th inning, a walk-off base hit from shortstop and young phenom Ezekiel Tovar. He had 3 hits tonight, including the game-winning RBI. Only punched out 1 time. He's hitting 280, with an OPS of .783, which by the looks of it is the second highest on the team. Or no, excuse me. So I guess Sam Hilliard's at 0.853, but I'm going to discount that since he's not playing every day. Brenton Doyle of the regular guys is a 0.819 OPS, but Ezekiel Tovar not far behind him at 0.783. And nice. We spent a majority of the show yesterday, I think, talking about, or maybe it was Saturday's show, talking about Ezekiel Tovar because he did have that one stretch in the middle of the season, right before the All-Star break where he was 0 for 28. I believe something like 8 consecutive games for Ezekiel Tovar where he was, unable to record a hit. Obviously, over 28 speaks for itself. But coming out of the All-Star break, Ezekiel Tovar has been a machine at the plate. And tonight, he is the hero of the game as he drives home the winning run, scoring Jake Cave there in the bottom of the 12th inning. But let's take a look here at the starting pitching tonight and the pitching in general for the Rockies. Man, this bullpen's been pretty good. For the most part, since the unofficial start of the second half here. So the last 4 games, the sample size is massive, but the bullpen's been pretty good. Let's start with Austin Gomber, though, who indeed was the pitcher today. If you watched yesterday's Locked On Rockies postcast, and if you tried to bet the Rockies game yesterday, all of the sports books, even MLB.com themselves, listed Austin Gomber as the starting pitcher for yesterday, and ended up being Ryan Feltner. Austin Gomber was the starter for today. And he did the dang thing. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. But outside of that top of the 6th inning for Austin Gomber, the first 5 innings for him were absolutely dominant. And, it was funny because sometimes when I catch up on the games, I'm always curious to see what other people think. Am I watching the same game? Am I interpreting it the same way? So I'll kind of look up people's takes on social media. And Austin Gomber was one of those guys that people that are not familiar with the Rockies were lining up to bet against the Rocks today. I saw Book It with Trent and Dave Portnoy. Portnoy is not as much of a mush, but Book It with Trent is obviously known to be one of the bigger mushes in the sports betting industry. When I saw both of them on the Red Sox tonight, I sat back to myself and I said, you know what? Based off principle alone, I think the Rockies might win this game. Now, I did not expect it to be a 12-inning affair. But the Rockies did get the job done. But point being, the reason why, and it's funny because this game, the score ends up getting run up anyway, but Austin Gomber did a very good job from the jump in this game. And we've detailed it, a ton here on the Locked On Rockies postcast, after his most recent starts and whatnot, that the key for Austin Gomber, if Austin Gomber is going to have a successful night at the office, if Austin Gomber is going to, go for a quality start, if Austin Gomber is going to put the Rockies in a position to win the game, it all starts with him in the first inning. And his ERA, again, without looking it up off the top of my head, the first inning has been his absolute kryptonite all season long. And, he does a good job today. The curveball, the off-speed pitches were really working for Austin Gomber in this one. He had a couple of strikeouts here in the first inning, both of them swinging to Rob Refsnyder and Connor Wong. Just really good stuff today from Austin Gomber. And looking like that earlier version of himself that we saw in the early portion of the season, right up until the end portion of May when things kind of started to unravel for him a little bit. But Austin Gomber today was absolutely positively phenomenal. Again, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 6 runs, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. Sorry, the 6 and the 4 were playing together there for me for a second. 1 walk, which is not bad, and 5 strikeouts. His ERA at 4.70 right now for Mr. Gomber. But he did run into a little bit of trouble as the game went on, but Gomber did a great job of limiting the damage. No runs allowed through his first 4 innings of work before he did run into some of that trouble there in the top half of the 5th inning. And let's break it down here. Tyler O'Neill with a leadoff single after a strike which follows up with a strikeout from Yoshida, and then a pair of, Rami Gonzalez with a single as well. That puts 2 runners on with 1 out for the Red Sox, and a Jamie Westbrook home run, a 3-run shot. Brings the Red Sox within 1 run of the Rockies at that point of the game, and they end up scoring another run as Rob Refsnyder, who was a strikeout candidate in the first inning, hits an RBI single with the runner on. So the Red Sox end up tying it up here 4-4, but Austin Gomber does a good job of limiting the damage to that inning before he's yanked after a couple of outs there in the 6th inning. But the early scoring in this game for the Rockies, You can attribute that to the veteran, Mr. Charlie Blackmon. He did the darn thing with a 2-run home run in the bottom of the third inning. And then, as we mentioned earlier in the show as well, Brenton Doyle with his 17th RBI double of the season. All of these coming in the bottom of the third inning as the Rockies ended up scoring 4 runs in that frame. So Brenton Doyle, 17th home run. Charlie Blackmon, his 7th home run. And then Michael Toglia with an RBI single as well. So Toglia has been pretty darn good for this Rockies team since being recalled not so long ago. But that's kind of the early scoring, and that is how the pitching shook out tonight for Austin Gomber. For the Red Sox, though, let's see here. They used a number of different pitchers in this game, but Hook was the starter for them. He goes 6 innings pitched, gives up 10 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. His ERA now at 2.71. So he's had good numbers coming into this one, but a younger guy, succumbing to the issues and the difficulty that is pitching at altitude here at Coors Field. So that is the pitching lineup, and that's how the Rockies scored their runs early in this one. But all right, let's hit our final break. When we'll come back, we'll put a bow on the show, get you guys ready for tomorrow's game as well. Couple of fleeting thoughts, old pal Trevor Story back in town, and how the Rockies might be able to take advantage of a prominent relief pitcher not currently in the mix for the Boston Red Sox. Stick with us, all that and more when we come back right here on your Locked On Rockies postcast. All right, y'all, let me tell you about our friends over at FanDuel, and hopefully you use that FanDuel Sportsbook to bet on the Rockies tonight, because they come out victorious with a 9-8 victory over the Boston Red Sox. Could have got good plus money on the Rocks tonight as they take advantage of a Red Sox team. I did mention that after I did the read yesterday for FanDuel, guys, that the Red Sox were coming into this game late after playing on Sunday Night Baseball in Los Angeles. The Rockies appeared to be the more rested team, and they took full advantage of this game across the board with a 9-8 victory in the bottom of the 12th victory. But I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer and fewer games. And, well, the sports, they just aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open up the app and dream up my bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every single day, all summer long. Let me repeat that. Not just new customers. FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. And it's funny because I had a buddy that actually ended up placing a wager in the middle of extra innings here. He bet on the Red Sox to win the game. They went up, cashed out, so we made a little bit of coin. The Rockies ended up winning this game, and he did that with our friends over at FanDuel. So be sure to check them out. Let them know that Locked On Rockies sent you, and away we go. All right, welcome on back into your Locked On Rockies postcast. I'm your host, Aniello Piro. Appreciate you guys rocking with me after the Rockies win this game by a final score of 9-8 in the bottom half of the 12th inning at home at Coors Field. You'll love to see it. If you want to follow me on social media, you can do so at Media by AP. Also, make sure to subscribe to the brand new Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel, brand new in Denver here in Denver. That is, no pun intended there. Endeavor. That's the word that I was trying. I'm so exhausted right now. That game was carrying on for me. But yes, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is when I wish I had a co-host so I can kind of bounce my ideas off of somebody. Because like 9.9999 times out of 10, I'm locked in and ready to go. Tonight, sitting around, I got the dog. He's sleeping next to me. We're powering through though. But a couple of thoughts here as we get ready to hand the baton off for tomorrow. The Rockies are going to have some opportunities in the rest of this series because Kenley Jansen did not travel with the Red Sox for this game. He pitched, I think, like something like 40 plus pitches in the Red Sox game last night on Sunday night against the Los Angeles Dodgers. But the reason why Kenley Jansen is not traveling in this series is he's got, if I remember correctly, some sort of a heart condition that is exasperated when he's up at altitude. So, Kenley Jansen, I know he's not what he used to be, but is still one of the better relief pitchers in Major League Baseball and is probably the best relief pitcher, or one of for sure, for the Boston Red Sox. So the fact that they made note of that on the post-game broadcast here tonight, that without Kenley Jansen, the Red Sox were going to have to go to a mix of guys in that bullpen. And I think that ultimately is what helped lead the Rockies to this victory. So the fact that Kenley Jansen isn't going to be there, I think certainly bodes well for Colorado as they try to continue along here and get another win as they get ready for tomorrow's game against the Boston Red Sox. So we shall see, but I do think that's definitely something worth noting, where if you're going to take away one of the best relief pitchers or closing type pitchers for the other team, obviously that's going to be a huge, huge advantage for the home team in this instance in the Colorado Rockies. But looking ahead to tomorrow's game between the Rockies and the Red Sox, it'll be Cooper Criswell on the mound for Boston. He is 3-4 with a 4.50 ERA and 50 strikeouts this season. Taking a look here, his last start came on July 15th against the July 12th against the Kansas City Royals. He went 6 innings pitched, 9 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, gave up a home run in that one, walked 2. So looks like this will be his first start since the All-Star break. So we'll see if Cooper Criswell is, for lack of a better phrase, crisp on the mound tomorrow at Coors Field. But for the Rockies, it'll be old pal Ty Blach back in the rotation after German Marquez was placed on the injured list with elbow inflammation, which is very unfortunate considering he just came back off the IL in his return from Tommy John surgery. But looking at it here for Mr. Ty Blach, he's 3-5 with a 5.46 ERA. His last time out for the Rockies, I mean, he's pitched a couple of times in relief. Let's see. It looks like his last start for Colorado came back on June the 20th. That was against the Dodgers. He went 4 innings pitched, was shelled in this one. 10 hits allowed, 5 earned runs, give up 3 home runs in this game. But his ERA was his ERA is actually higher than it was back then. His ERA entering that start, 5.13. His current ERA, 5.46. He's been bad in July as well. With an ERA of 8.31 in the month. He's pitched 4 1/3 total innings in July. He's given up 5 hits, 4 earned runs, and a home run, 3 walks. This is all just in July, and he's only struck out 1 batter. So looking for a little bit of a bounce back spot tomorrow for Ty Blach as he's getting ready to go off against the Boston Red Sox and their starting pitcher in Cooper Criswell. But after the Austin Gomber fiasco, who's to say it's actually going to be Ty Blach on the mound tomorrow? We shall see. Maybe it'll be somebody else just after how that all shook out over the weekend and whatnot. But if it's what MLB.com is telling me, again, Cooper Criswell against Ty Blach should be a good one, a 6:40 p.m. first pitch tomorrow. But all right, closing thoughts before we get out of here, folks. Ezequiel Tovar, I ended up hopping on the show today with my guy Sean Drotar on Mile High Sports, and we were talking about Ezequiel Tovar. I've made the comparison on this show that the Rockies, draft and develop middle infielders, just like the Packers draft and develop quarterbacks. They've just got a knack for doing it, it appears. And, like I said, nice to see a guy like Ezequiel Tovar after having that 0 for 28, 0 for 8 type of stretch, leading into the All-Star break. Nice to see him come out of the ASB and have his head on straight and delivering in a big way with that walk-off base hit tonight for the Colorado Rockies. And, Brenton Doyle, we mentioned it as well. He stays hot as 17th home run of the season. This is a 26-year-old kid that is cementing himself as the future of the Rockies outfield, which I think is just absolutely fantastic. He plays the game the right way. And, just the month of July, he's hitting something like close to 500, I want to say, in the month of July alone. So Brenton Doyle's doing his thing. And, that between Doyle and Tovar being hot right now, that has been enough for this Rockies offense out of the gate in the All-Star break to secure 3 wins in their last 4 games. A couple other takeaways. Always nice to see Charlie Blackmon, hit a ball out of the ballpark. This could very well be his swan song, his 7th home run of the season. And Michael Toglia. Look, I know Chris Bryant's on the way back from the IL, and he went, 5 for 5, I believe, on Sunday night down there in AAA. I don't know if you want to take Michael Toglia's bat out of the lineup right now, if I'm being honest with you. Toglia has been very, very good for this Rockies team and the opportunities that he's been provided. The defense has been pretty solid as well at first base, but the pop has been there as, he also delivers in a big-time way today in the bottom of the 3rd inning with an RBI single. But we've seen him hit the home run. We've seen him hit the double. We've seen him just make a number of different plays. So Michael Toglia, I think, is making a case for himself to stick around as a regular in this Rockies lineup the rest of the way, even when Chris Bryant does indeed come back. So it will be interesting to see how the Rockies decide to navigate that. But that is going to do it for me tonight, folks. Appreciate you guys up late with me. The Rockies win at 9-8 in 12 innings, improve to 37-64 on the season, looking to make it 2 in a row as they take on the Boston Red Sox once again tomorrow, 6:40 p.m. first pitch, with Ty Blach expected to be on the mound for Colorado. But a tip of the cap to Ezequiel Tovar, Brenton Doyle, all the young guys staying hot, and Tovar walking it off for the Rocks as they are victorious in the first game of the series against the Boston Red Sox. That's going to do it for me, folks. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll talk to you guys mañana after the Rockies and Red Sox second game of the series as this baseball season rolls along. Talk to you then.